that the Congress was not going to accommodate his demands, he felt the need to look for another ally, and therefore he walked out not only of the Mahagathbandhan in Bihar but also the India Alliance, and that leads to a double whammy because remember, not only does the Congress and the RJD lose power in Bihar because of that, but it's also a blow to the India Alliance because Nitish Kumar was its principal pivot, a key architect, and therefore this is going to be an extremely important move from Nitish Kumar ahead of the 2024 elections for the India Alliance. It is a blow, even though alliances, other allied partners remain with the alliance. This one is a political blow for the India Alliance as Nitish Kumar walks out, not only walks out, but switches over to the NDA side.
All right, Saurabh Gupta from Patna with that report. What is going to be the impact on markets, if any? Nirav Sheth, CEO, Institutional Equities, Emkay Global Financial, joining us. Nirav, very good morning. The way I see it, it's not so much only about Nitish, but the fact that in the last week, you've had 3 allies of the India bloc walking out. You had Mamta first, Arvind Kejriwal saying that he's going to go it alone in Punjab. Mamta is going to go it alone in West Bengal. And Nitish, of course, has switched sides. Do you think this is going to have a positive sentiment at all for the markets?
Yeah, in a sense that, you just keep on building higher odds of, NDA coming back with a super majority. But you need to look at, when you talk about, TMC not giving too many seats in Bengal and AAP contesting on its own in Delhi. This is far more impactful. This is far more symbolic because Nitish Kumar was the architect of the India Alliance. And, the kick started the entire alliance by holding their first meeting in Patna. And this comes after, obviously, you had had a similar breakup in Shiv Sena over here. And please understand and appreciate that both in Maharashtra and Bihar, while BJP is strong, it is not very dominant, which means that, the other parties, whether it is JDU or whether it is Shiv Sena, they had a respectable market share, vote share, so as to talk about. And the way that NDMA want to function is that, you just want to keep on tick marking the boxes where you think that, you want to get to a seats with more than 50% vote share, which basically sort of solidifies your, outcome in terms of the seats that you can win. Why do you want to fight a battle when, people are, willing to join you in this game? So, yeah, I don't think that the markets will get too excited because, like I said, this is about now incremental odds of NDA winning. But it is a very, very solid development symbolically. And I would also want to add that, Nitish Kumar had a game plan when he switched sides away from NDA. Which was, in hindsight, trying to get into this caste survey and trying to make that a poll plank. And it seems that that has been subjugated to the massive response that you have got to, the temple in Ayodhya, and you want to call it rejuvenation of Hinduism or Ram Rajya or whatever it is. But this also tells you that, these are very, very smart guys who can read the political wind, and therefore, yes, it's a thumbs up for NDA.
That's an important point that Nitish was the convener of the India bloc. So him moving out, has a big hit over there. In terms of, Nirav, let's go back to market reaction and perspective. Like you said, maybe sentimentally positive. But, when we opened the show today, that's what we were talking about. How do you discount a factor that's already been discounted? And that brings me to the larger question. In terms of elections being a huge mover for the markets, as it typically is, do you think that the impact will be more muted now, especially after these instances, where the likelihood of an NDA returning seems even higher?
Yeah, exactly. So you would normally expect the markets to, you had a very, very strong run last year, and therefore you would assume that, you're still getting into a massive event. It's a big event. And, there are always odds, very, very small odds of something going wrong. And therefore, you would look to, sort of hedge yourself or not overcommit yourself ahead of the big events. But these developments obviously puts you on the back foot, right? And therefore, you probably want to go out being fully invested or something like that. I don't know. I don't have a great answer to it. It increasingly seems like India would have an outcome which is better than what you've seen in 2019 as well. And maybe the market just time corrects, or maybe it even turns up. Once you start getting the opinion polls and stuff like that, it may even turn up into elections like it happened in 2019. And then maybe you will see a time correction. But these are extremely difficult
calls to make.
Moves to predict.
I know, Nirav, but that's why we have you, and hence the question is if the election result is a foregone conclusion. A lot of talk after December state election verdict was that money that was due to come post May will start coming in the first half of the calendar. Do you sense something like that now happening with even more gusto with a development like this, or even otherwise?
Well, I believe that, I still believe that a large part of the money will actually come after the elections, because the guys who want to take a bet on the next 3 or 5 years, they don't necessarily mind buying something higher by 5%, right? So, I think it's only the smart money, and smart money by definition is not very voluminous, right? And therefore, so I don't think that people are going to preempt that by buying into it, unless and until, like, I think that, I'll still wait for opinion polls and those that are slightly closer to elections once you announce the candidates' names and stuff like that. But yeah, I believe that you are more likely to see a time correction rather than a sell-off ahead of the big event. And this is a far more positive development in terms of Nitish walking out. So, but maybe a one-day pop or something like that.
Got it. Nirav, appreciate you taking the time out and joining.